today's theme, traveling by rail, heading from France to England, taking the Eurostar train across through the Channel Tunnel. It's funny, not that long ago, probably when I was a kid, the idea of taking a train from France to Britain would be probably a punchline to a joke. But of course, obviously now it's very much a real thing. You can see behind me the train station. This is Paris Gare du Nord. And because most of my viewers are from the Midwest and are kids, you really haven't seen a train station like this before, and it's kind of cool. Just waiting, got plenty of time to kill before my train leaves, and just hanging out with some friends that I met along the way. Alright, after a little bit of a wait in the station and so on, I am on board the Eurostar train. If you've ever traveled Amtrak in the US, which of course nobody does other than me, it's very similar, very comfortable way to travel, much better than an airplane. It's just that, of course, nobody in the US does it because we just don't do that. But you'll see the station outside here, and we're going to start to pull out momentarily. We're just about to depart here. And remember, for those of you going on the trip next year, this is how you'll actually be making this trip in reverse. I'm heading from Paris to London, obviously. This is the way you'll be getting from London to Paris, because we're of course doing the trip in that order when you go. And we're on. Alright, quick update. Made it. The Eurostar train was just fine. Navigated the tube system, the London Underground, very smooth, very efficient, even better. It's better by far even than what they have in Paris, and it's as good or better than what they have in Washington, D.C. Very nice system. You can maybe see behind me over my shoulder the 4 Stars Hotel. I've found where I need to be, and I'm going to go off and explore the city for a little bit before I can actually check in. So, all's good so far. So I am here in London, and I'm just sort of wandering around aimlessly, just exploring a little bit until it's the acceptable time to check into my hotel. The site you see behind me, I just had to point out though, I managed to, just by wandering around, find the Swedish embassy, so, you know, my people are here anyway, and so that's kind of cool, and so I thought I would just throw in a little shot of that. So, Heja Sverige! So here I am, live from the balcony of my hotel here in London. A couple of things just to remember, little story to tell you, something you want to keep in mind when you're traveling overseas. Make sure you know the PIN number to your cash card, and that sounds really silly because I thought I knew mine, I thought I had it memorized, but here's the thing. I set up a separate account just for traveling overseas so that if I were to lose my card, whatever, it wouldn't be tied to my actual checking account with like my family's actual money in it. And the new card, this morning went to go get pounds, or this afternoon I went to go get pounds from a cash machine when I arrived here, and lo and behold, I put in the wrong number enough times, the number for my other account, my main account, and now my ability to use that card and my ability to get cash is frozen. Which I can fix if I call my bank, but guess what? Today's Sunday. And after it stops being Sunday here, it'll still be another 6 hours of Sunday for you guys back home. So, a little bit of a dilemma. I will have to call my bank, figure out a way to do that. It'll be a little bit tricky because, contrary to what Verizon told me, my cell phone hasn't worked at all in France or England. And so just some things to kind of keep aware of as you're traveling. Right now I've got about 40 pounds in my pocket. And I'm going to have to use it wisely until I can get my bank to help me out. Just a few little handy travel tips. London, wanted to point out a couple of things. First of all, just wandering randomly is the best thing you can do in a foreign city. I thought nothing could top wandering randomly through Paris last night, but this is delightful. A couple of things to note for when you come here. Just recall that, remember what I said about traffic in Paris. Traffic in London is probably as heavy, but it's much more sane. In London, it appears that there are actually rules and people do follow them, however grudgingly. I have not yet even come close to being killed, which I find something of an accomplishment. The other thing to think about is I would love to try driving a left-hand drive car, but I don't want to do it here. If I was out in some little small town somewhere, I might give it a shot just to see if I can make my brain work that way. I don't know if that's going to happen. One last thing, when I was in Paris, one of the things that I really enjoyed, it was always kind of a treat to hear someone speaking English and hear something I could understand. It's kind of a treat when you hear it in London as well. It's a very, as most major cities of the world are, very vibrant, very multicultural, very many different languages being spoken. Just exciting all the time. One last story along those lines as far as language. I've been trying to not be so obviously American, which is hard to do when you're standing here taking a video selfie. But had one bit of success last night as I was walking around. I walked into a little antique shop not far from the Louvre, and the lady started speaking to me in German. So at least I seemed like the wrong kind of foreigner, or a different kind of foreigner at least. One other thing with regard to London traffic control issues, I'm assuming that these signs are all over the place on the pavement, basically on the gutter, to remind tourists from countries where people drive on the right-hand side of the road, like myself, basically to stop us getting killed, I think is why they do this, but that's just a guess. Behind me is the O2 Arena, the famous concert and entertainment venue here in London. This is something you won't be doing on your tour. This is the Monty Python Live, mostly, show. I believe it's the last one of their reunion shows that they're doing. Very famous arena, the O2. I've got friends who have a lot of concert DVDs who say that many of the concert DVDs they have are filmed right here. Very famous performing arts venue here in London. I'm going to go have fun. So here we are inside the O2 Arena, just kind of giving you a quick look at what it looks like in here. Basically imagine the outside. The outside's a whole complex of shops and restaurants and fun things. Essentially imagine if the Mall of America, rather than having an amusement park inside, had a concert arena roughly the size of Target Center or the Excel Center, only probably somewhat bigger here. I'm not sure what the seating capacity is. I can look that up, or you can look that up later, but just a really, really cool place to be. Very, very fun to have finally arrived here to see this.